Did you know that you could be legally discriminated against right here in Morgantown? I'm Leanne Schinkel, and coming up on WVU News, I'll tell you what steps the city is taking to protect its residents.
Your children may be unsafe in their car seats without you even knowing. I'm Megan Guerra, and I'll bring you that story next on WVU News.
Betsy DeVos is proposing a change in Title IX guidelines. I'm Noelle Ford, and I'll tell you what this program means to sexual assault survivors. Our Emmy Award-winning WVU News starts now.
Someone is sexually assaulted every 98 seconds. So what will revisions to Title IX mean for the safety of victims? I'm Kendall Lewis.
And I'm Patrick Clark. Is your child buckled up correctly? We have that report coming up.
These stories and more on WVU News, an Emmy Award-winning newscast produced by television journalism students right here at West Virginia University.
The National Sexual Violence Resource Center says 1 in 5 female students report sexual assault and misconduct.
Title IX is a lifeline for those who have suffered an attack, but recent reforms are criticized as being too lenient. Noelle Ford joins us with more. Noelle?
Thanks, Kendall. The Education Secretary announced rewrites to Title IX last month, rewrites that protect the accused. So what does this mean for sexual assault victims? The Education Department recently announced it's rescinding Obama-era guidance on how schools should handle sexual assaults under Title IX federal law. One of the major policy changes gives universities the option of using clear and convincing standard of proof, making it harder to charge a person with sexual assault.
Betsy DeVos is proposing a review of Title IX procedures across America. Title IX currently offers resources to sexual assault victims. Survivor Shannon Cawley thinks that her sexual abuse of 7 years could have ended if she was offered these resources.
Just being able to identify the symptoms of molestation, because that was the biggest problem. I didn't know that I was being molested. I was being groomed by my abuser to think that the things that he was doing to me were okay, and they totally weren't.
Experts say 62% of sexual assaults on college campuses are fueled by drugs or alcohol. Assistant Director of Title IX Prevention and Education, Mariana Matthews, explains that Title IX gives victims more options than just going to the police.
We want them to be comfortable. We really want them to come forward so we can help them. That doesn't launch a big criminal investigation or institutional investigation per se, but what it means is we want them to be safe, we want them to feel supported, and we want to provide the proper interim measures to help them succeed.
1 in 4 women will be the victim of sexual assault in college. That's why WVU created the It's On Us campaign, to raise awareness about this problem.
I feel like if I would have been given Title IX, I would have also been given the power to proceed with court proceedings, and he wouldn't be in jail right now.
Cawley is now training to be a peer educator for Title IX so that she can help other victims. More information on this program and Title IX at WVU can be found at the bottom of your screen.
There is good news with these proposed revisions. The new guidelines under Title IX gives universities unlimited time to complete an investigation. Under the Obama era, universities had only 60 days of a report being made to complete an investigation.
Thanks, Noelle. While some struggle to find safety at school, others face difficulties in simply finding a place to live. It's part of the American dream, having a place to call your own. But what if you couldn't rent or own a home because of your race or ethnicity? Reporter Leanne Schinkel went to the Morgantown City Council meeting for their vote on a non-discrimination ordinance.
Discrimination will come with consequences right here at home if Morgantown City Council passes the new non-discrimination ordinance. This new proposal aims to ensure equal opportunities in housing no matter your race, religion, disability, sexual orientation, or identity. Zoe Dobler is a part of the LGBTQ community. She says passing this ordinance will only solidify that Morgantown is an all-inclusive environment.
By holding this meeting, this is something that community members very much care about. And so by taking the time to consider this piece of legislation, I think it's doing a lot for the community. I think it's important for sure.
Although most people in the community agree with the ordinance, some believe it shouldn't be up to the city.
I'd say it's his right to choose who rents from him or not. If they don't like it, they can go to someone that's nice or a renter.
28 states allow legal discrimination against the LGBTQ community for housing and public accommodations. In 2016 alone, there were over 28,000 reports of housing discrimination, 55% of which were disability and 19.5% on race. If you want to show your support of this ordinance, you can sign the petition. The link is at the bottom of your screen. Leanne Schinkel, WVU News, Morgantown.
Feeling safe in your own community is important, but what about the safety of children in car seats? Motor vehicle crashes are the leading cause of death and injury for all children. Studies show that the correct use of car and booster seats can reduce the risk of death by up to 71% and serious injury by up to 67% in a crash. Megan Guerra joins us now from Studio B at the Media Innovation Center to tell us more. Megan?
Every day we lose 4 to 5 children in car accidents, and the reason is actually quite simple. Most parents don't know how to properly install a car seat. In fact, 95% of all car seats are installed incorrectly. That's why it's important to take advantage of your certified car seat technicians. Child Passenger Safety Week reminds parents to make sure their children's car seats are safe and properly installed. As a mother of a 3-month-old, Blair Martin wants to make sure her daughter is always safe in the car.
And she is traveling in the vehicle with me. If anything is to happen and there's a crash or whatever, she's secure in the car seat.
Officials say the correct way to install a car seat is to first make sure it's the correct size for the child who's using it. Then make sure it's secured with either the seatbelt or the lower anchor. If your car seat is installed properly, then it shouldn't move an inch after being installed. WVU Medicine's Christine Hoffey aims to help as many families as possible with these car seat checks.
Events like this really help us to reach people that wouldn't necessarily be at the hospital or don't have time Monday through Friday because of work to get to a check that may be elsewhere.
Not only did professionals check seats, they also showed parents easier ways to install them.
She actually explained to me that I don't need to take the base out because the car seat itself is seatbelt safe to be in a car without the base.
West Virginia law states that children under 2 should be in a rear-facing car seat, in a forward-facing harness seat until at least age 5, and in a booster seat until they're 4 feet 9 inches tall. If you want to ensure your child's car seat is properly installed, you can visit the National Traffic Highway Safety Administration's website. There you can find detailed videos on how to properly install a car seat. Now back to you at the Waterfront Studio.
Thanks, Megan. While no one can stop the clock, all of us can slow its tick by exercising more, especially once we hit middle age.
Our next story takes a view from a much later phase of life, a man in his 50s who has run marathons in all 50 states. Kylie Rice joins us now from Social Square to share this unique story. Kylie?
Thanks, Kendall and Patrick. From former Marine to police officer, this California cop is making his rounds by running across America. Amador Nunez just finished his 50th half marathon, saving the best for last as he ended his tour right here in Morgantown. I caught up with him to learn more.
Completing a half marathon in every state isn't something most 55-year-olds do, but Amador Nunez wouldn't have it any other way. After finishing his first race in 2004 at the Rock and Roll Half Marathon in Arizona, Nunez hasn't been able to stop. But for the former Marine, the most important part of the race is simply finishing.
The Marine Corps instilled discipline in an individual and just kept me going and mentally strong to finish these things, because you have to be. Because there's days when you come out and it's going to be a bad running day, but mentally you're going to finish because you know you got to finish.
He's a Marine, so there's no quit in him at all. And if you're running with him and you're slowing down, he'll pick you up. He'll slow down to your pace to make sure you finish.
Nunez trains for his marathons by running 20 miles a week and cycling 35 to 75 miles a week, and says it's a great way to de-stress from his 32 years of police work.
So what's next for Nunez? Completing 50 full marathons in all 50 states. He's already on his way to completing that goal with 14 states down, and wants his last race to be in Hawaii.
Big, huge pride. It's you know, I'm part of my club. There's very few of us that have done it so far. Few people, period. It's awesome.
Nunez is also one of over 4,000 proud members of the 50 States Half Marathon Club.
In total, Nunez has completed 152 half marathons and 28 full marathons. You can keep up with Nunez and the 50 States Club by visiting their Facebook page.
Thanks, Kylie. Stadium security continues to evolve 16 years after 9/11, Patrick.
And coming up after the break, sports reporter Elizabeth Haynes explains how WVU Sports has adopted a new policy.
I'm Elizabeth Haynes, and coming up next on WVU News, I'll tell you about the clear bag policy WVU recently implemented at all sporting events.
For me, it all started with a question.
Why?
It drove me to look deeper, try harder, think bigger. No way? Yes way. I took that question to a place where the possibilities are endless. It all started with a little question, a little why, and a little why not.
WVU's new clear bag policy limits the type and size of bags that may be brought into university sporting events.
Sports reporter Elizabeth Haynes joins us now with more. Elizabeth?
Other universities in the Big 12 and the NFL have required clear bags as a way to quickly process fans at the gate, brought on by security concerns sparked by attacks across the globe at large sporting events. Increased security, more cameras, and a buffer zone added around many stadiums. These are a few of the preventative measures implemented since 9/11. And here at WVU, officials say fan safety on game day is top priority.
Upon entering the Mountaineer Field this weekend, fans had to switch out their purses. So what does this mean? Well, a policy that started just this fall states that each guest is limited to one clear bag per person. In fact, there are signs at all 3 entrances of the stadium that show exactly what you can bring in to see the Mountaineers.
A clear bag that you've purchased, it can't be any larger than 12 by 6 by 12. And then, or you can just carry a gallon-sized Ziploc bag, or you can, and also you can carry a small clutch bag for privacy that measures 4.5 by 6.5.
Following the NFL's lead with other professional and collegiate programs, WVU's clear bag policy enhances security measures.
The clear bag policy is becoming more and more common at large sporting events around the nation. The NFL has had the policy in place for 5 years, and 8 of the Big 12 schools also have the policy.
Most fans were all for going to a clear bag and feel safer having the policy in place. The policy supports the Department of Homeland Security's If You See Something, Say Something campaign.
I think it's a great idea with all the things going around the United States. I'm all about the safety part of it, and it didn't bother me at all to have to go to a clear bag.
Oh, I think it was a great idea. I think we need to be safe and keep the nation safe.
One thing is certainly clear, WVU wants a win in the stands and on the field.
This policy applies to ticketed events at Milan Puskar Stadium, WVU Coliseum, Dick DeLess Soccer Stadium, and Monongalia County Ballpark.
Thanks, Elizabeth. And speaking of public venues, a new gallery is now on display at WVU's Downtown Library.
That's right, Kendall. Those who wish to see Appalachia from an artistic and diverse point of view can now find it all in one place. Music and art was celebrated at the WVU Downtown Campus Library as part of the annual Morgantown Arts Walk. Featured at the exhibit was photographer Roger May. May is the director of the Looking at Appalachia project, a juried collection of images by amateur and professional photographers. May says the photo exhibit provides an intimate look into everyday life in Appalachia. The exhibit will be on display at the library until June 2018.
It's a beautiful collection of photos, Patrick. Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of WVU News. You can visit us online on our website.
You can also watch our shows on YouTube, and please follow us and our reporters on Twitter. I'm Patrick Clark.
And I'm Kendall Lewis. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.